I saw Prove It Standard run today, and it was phenomenal.
Nice. Gee, what do you mean, Ben? I don't see any of that when at the start here.
Watch this run through here. Stretching out really nice. Across this dog walk.
Wow.
Wow, that was amazing. Tight turn into the tunnel, into those weaves. Panel, stayed all the way on the teeter, all the way. Amber does a blind right there, then the teeter, super nice. Tight turn at 17, yep. A-frame, get into that yellow, does, and the tire, nice job, guys.
1, 2, 3, oh.
I love that dog watching the TV. That's a dog actually watching the Westminster Agility Championship there.
Oh, that's cute.
We got who we got? Oh, we got Jamie. We got Katie. We got Carolyn in the house. Jamie and Katie, you there?
Yep.
Yeah, we're all going to the dogs.
We're going to the dogs today. And Jamie, you sent me let's see, your grandson. This is Thor with your grandson. Great grandson.
Yeah.
Torin.
This is the one that was born at only 6 months gestation and had to stay in the hospital for 3 months.
Wow.
I remember that when that was going on. This is the one, the great grandson. That's a beautiful dog. What is that dog?
I'm
What kind
not
of
sure.
dog
It's
is it?
some sort of long-haired lab, but I don't know what they call them.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Thor.
But the Westminster, I like what they call the Agility Championship so much at Westminster, because that's where they do all the racing and stuff like that, and that's what I've saved here, and they got a little more of it. I love this dog who's watching it.
Okay. She likes them too. Are you still here? Or did you run? Oh, you know.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the puppy bowl.
Yeah, that's always hysterical. And they've gotten to where they do such a high value production of it, also, that it's very, they make it very entertaining. The puppy bowl. Yeah. Anyway, I'll just let this roll in the background without the sound. That's just some of the scenes from yesterday's what they call Agility Championship. I've got the winner here. Wimaramer was the winner. We can see that a little later. But anyway, there's news out there, isn't there? Katie said there's actually some good news from Minneapolis.
Yes. Liam Ramos is on his way back to Minnesota. He's on a plane right now.
That's the 5-year-old that everybody saw in the photo. And it's only because the judge ordered that they release him, right?
Yeah, unfortunately.
Is his father coming with him?
Yes. They're
Great.
both being released.
So they're not going to deport him after all. What was the final story on whether the guy was subject to deportation even?
Well, he was applying for...
They were going through the legal process of asylum and with getting citizenship. So they're in that legal process. Now, the thing is, if we reformed ICE, I'm not saying abolish ICE, because I think we do need it in some capacity.
Yeah.
But like, if we could restructure ICE where they go after these criminals, and if they do pick up somebody, they verify what their legal status is before they ship them off someplace.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
You know, and probably do it non-violently would be a good one too, you know?
Yeah. And Carolyn, we got your audio working today, so
Yes.
we could get back to where we were going to get. Yes, because It's amazing how these stories come and go, isn't it? I mean, it's like the Don Lemon arrest is almost already come and gone. I mean, the story anyway.
It was yesterday, the day before.
Yeah, it was yesterday. So it doesn't.
Look, a flying dog.
Yeah. Though that's the part of the thing that's so cool. But anyway, here's the actual indictment. Hey, well, what's there's two things we've discussed, Carol. One is the local prosecutors and magistrate, and I guess a judge even, who didn't want to sign on to prosecuting Don Lemon, and then some of the flaws in the indictment itself. So, what do you got to offer us on that?
Well, I would just say that it's a very poorly drafted indictment, and they offer some gratuitous information, like the thing about the child thinking the parents might die. That was inappropriate for an indictment. That's not factual.
What was it? What was it they said?
You know, I printed it out and I don't have it handy now. The only thing I have is the last page, but
I've got it on here.
Yeah, it said something about that, you know, that they entered in such a manner that a child.
Oh, I see it.
Being killed. So. And
young children. I've got it on. It's on the screen right here. Why do I do that? I try to enlarge it and then it bounces away. Anyway, it said, and young children were fearing they were about to die.
Yeah, that's inappropriate. It's inflammatory language that has no business being in an indictment. What they did leave out is that they said that Don Lemon, as well as others, but that he had obstructed the worshipers, but yet they don't really lay out a factual basis for that. Generally, you put specifically what actions did this take person that formed the basis for this indictment, and you really don't see that. It's just a lot of speculation and inflammatory language.
And another thing I noticed is it was a bizarre connection to connect him to the conspiracy because they only charge him with conspiracy, right? Not any direct acts.
Well, the fact that he was part of the conspiracy, then yes. I mean, he's charged with conspiring to do that act, which is the same. I mean, once you conspire to do it, then you're.
But I get into this is a little bit in the weeds, but can't you also charge, if I'm making up words here, but direct acts in addition to the conspiracy?
Generally they are. If the acts were completed, then there would be a conspiracy to do the act.
And that's what I'm getting at. They don't charge him with direct acts in this.
Did they not? I thought that everybody was charged in both.
I had read that somewhere, and I was wondering about that because somebody said
that.
Look
and see what the indictment says. Count one is the conspiracy. Count two would be the substantive acts.
This would be like the actual charge against Lemon that we'd be.
Well, he was in count one. Is he in count two? That's the question.
Oh, I see what you mean. Okay, so here's count one, all defendants. That's the conspiracy. I got you. All right, now that was count one. Okay, then here's all about the conspiracy, and he's all over that. All right, and then you get down to count two. I'm trying to get to it. It's what is that? That's still overt act. That's what I was trying to think of.
Yeah, but overt acts are part of count one.
All right, here's count two. Now here's injure, intimidate, and interfere. So these are the direct acts. So
these are the substantive acts.
Okay, so he is listed in there.
Yeah.
So we got two counts. We got the conspiracy, and then we got the direct acts. Okay. And then you were saying they left out a citation of some sort that makes some difference.
Well, not really. I mean, it's generally Title 18. The section 2 is that they listed at the top of the indictment. That just says that anything that other subjects of the conspiracy do, or the conspirators are also held responsible. So generally it's charged differently than what I'm used to.
I see.
And they didn't really put in within the count 248. There are and section 248 of Title 18, which is the criminal code. That is generally called the FACE Act, which just says that you can't interfere at.
Oh, that's the one that was designed for abortion claims.
Then through compromise in Congress, they added the portion about not interfering with worship, which is, I don't have any problem with that. But what they have here, I don't know that it rises to the level of actually completing the crime that is suggested there. But within that section, there are two different levels, if you will. And it depends on whether you have a prior conviction for that. It can be either 6 months or a year. And they don't specify which one they are alleging. So there's no way to know what penalty they are alleging for this offense. And generally that is in the indictment, so that it's clear what the person's looking at.
Yeah, why let the defendant know what he's actually charged with? Why would you do that?
Jason Beatrice in comments pretty much has it right.
Oh,
he was a black man walking into a white church.
Jason Beatrice, I told Donnie to stay out of that white church. Don didn't listen and led the Bob in there. First, he got us all riled up. Well, now, Carolyn, then back up to the strange circumstance of the prosecutors, the magistrate, the chief judge, the appellate court, all of them out there. And I guess this was in California because that's where he was. Or no, it was in Minnesota.
It couldn't be in California. It would have been in Minnesota.
I got a little mixed up. But anyway, they couldn't find anybody to sign on to this. I mean, the Department of Justice, Main Justice, as y'all call it, ended up having to do this because they.
Yeah, I mean, very unusual to have the Attorney General's name on it and the Assistant Attorney General, who's for civil rights. It's very unusual to have those people listed on the indictment rather than the local people.
Anybody got any questions for Carolyn?
No, it pretty much came down to they couldn't find anybody to file it for them, so they had to do it themselves.
And we've seen this. Go ahead, Carolyn.
What happened, my understanding is that they went to the local prosecutors, not including the U.S. attorney. The U.S. attorney's name is on the indictment, but the assistant U.S. attorneys, my understanding is that none of them would go with the case because they didn't think there was sufficient evidence. I assume that was their basis, and so someone went to a magistrate in Minnesota, and a magistrate can sign off on an information. And information is where you charge without going to the grand jury. You can only charge misdemeanors on an information. You cannot charge a felony with an information as opposed to an indictment. So they went to the magistrate. The magistrate would not sign off on it. They then went to the chief judge for Minnesota, and the chief judge would also not sign off on it. They then
did they give reasons? Did they actually? Is there anything on the record about their reasons for not signing? Or?
Not that I know of.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't think there would be. I just
I mean and generally their only reason to refuse to sign off on it is because you don't think that it's sufficiently charged. You don't think there's sufficient evidence. I mean, they may not like it, but they may not like the case that you're bringing. But if there's sufficient evidence, they have a duty. The magistrate and then the judge would have a duty to sign off on it. If it's appropriately charged. So I certainly haven't talked to the magistrate or the chief judge, but the only reason that they might not have signed off on it was because they didn't think that there was sufficient evidence, wasn't properly charged. So anyway, after the chief judge for the District of Minnesota also refused to sign off on it, then, and you have to have a magistrate or a judge sign off on it. There has to be judicial agreement with the charge in order to get the information. So after those two refused to sign it, then, and I don't know how they accomplished this, but what I've read is that they approached the Court of Appeals, and I forget which circuit that is, but they approached the Court of Appeals. The Court of Appeals refused to look at it. And I don't know what the procedure was, how that was handled. So then Main Justice went to the grand jury, and it would have been a Minnesota grand jury, and obtained the indictment. Now, the way they have charged it, we don't really know whether they're charging a misdemeanor or a felony. But
well, that was one thing I was wondering.
You don't have to go to the grand jury to charge a misdemeanor.
A misdemeanor.
You can get an information through the judiciary system.
But to just do a misdemeanor, would you still have to get a magistrate or a judge to sign it?
Absolutely, yes. I mean, and that's what didn't happen.
So I mean, you could have a scenario where they couldn't get anybody to sign a misdemeanor, so they tacked on a felony so they could go get a grand jury. Does that make sense?
Well, we don't know that it's.
I know we don't know that.
We don't know, but I mean, to charge someone with the crime, you have to have someone from the judiciary agree to it, even if it's a misdemeanor. And that's what an information is. An information is just a charging document. It looks exactly like an indictment, except at the top, instead of saying indictment, it says information. And that's called the charging document for a misdemeanor. You can also use an information to charge a felony if the defendant has agreed to it. And that often happens when the defendant is going to plead guilty, and you can charge by information.
Well, Don Lemon, they arrested him in the middle of the night. So he said at first he thought he was getting mugged. He thought the way they handled it, the way they approached him, he thought he was actually getting mugged. It's a wonder these people they don't start gunfire when they try to arrest these people the way they go about it. Well, there's Katie's dog. Katie?
Judy?
Yeah, that's Winnie. Well, that was years ago. If you scroll down, I posted another one that's her most recent.
That's Winnie?
Yeah, it's
and Winnie and that was years ago. And then
that was probably about that's her now.
Oh, this is her now. She's 15. Yeah.
She'll be 15 in May.
Yeah. Stir, are you there?
You.
You might have the winning dog picture. I think you might have the winning dog picture.
That was Chip in the 50s.
Now tell me about this dog.
That was Chip in the 50s.
Oh wow.
Chip. And she would hold it just like that until you said okay or released her. She would stay just like that.
Because Katie and I were talking earlier, some dogs like getting their pictures taken and others don't.
It says Douglas MacArthur phase.
She just knew how to stay, hold the pose or hold whatever it was. If you said stay, she would stay until you said okay or whatever.
And what kind of dog is she?
Just a mutt.
Mutt. And you say Winnie doesn't really like getting pictures.
She doesn't. Like, I just tried to take one now because she's being super, for being a dog, she's very cat-like. And
really?
Yeah, she likes to sit between my legs and rub her belly against my leg and stuff like that. She's very sweet. But I was trying to get a picture of her, and she kept dodging her face and moving it around. She's very Zsa Zsa Gabor.
Well, real back to Don Lemon, Carolyn, is this reminds me so much. We got into the weeds like this with the Comey case, and you nailed it right in the beginning. That was a weak case, and they had the same kind of issues with the grand jury. In that case, they got caught essentially lying to the grand jury, and the attorney general, or U.S. in that case, the acting one, has now been essentially thrown out. So they threw out the case, and they threw out the the U.S. attorney in the Comey case. So I think it's on the same trajectory.
Now, I think that the judge in that case criticized the indictment, but the basis for throwing out the case was that the U.S. attorney, Halligan, had not been appropriately or legally appointed to the position. So she could not go into the grand jury and seek the indictment. So that was the basis for throwing it out.
Wild. I tell you. And now the issue in Don Lemon's case is going to be this whole question of whether he's a journalist. And I think going forward, the law is going to have to struggle with the new age of independent journalists. Who has that First Amendment freedom of the press protection? Who is a member of the press? And even though he used to be at CNN, and definitely, is he a journalist under the definitions? And how do we do that? I don't know how we're going to go about all this now.
I wouldn't have any idea. I wouldn't have any suggestion.
I mean,
the point is, he had a First Amendment right, whether he was a journalist or not. So I don't really think that it matters how you define a journalist. He had a First Amendment right. So we have First Amendment rights. We aren't journalists.
Right. Yeah. What is there? Is there a distinction as far as freedom of the press is its own First Amendment right?
But I'm not a First Amendment expert, but I would say no. Everybody here everybody in the U.S. has a First Amendment right, whether you are a U.S. citizen or not. You have a First Amendment right.
Used to.
I think it was a matter of whether he was outside or inside, since it was private property and the exercise of religion. So if he's outside, he's got all the First Amendment rights. But if he's inside, he sort of has to have freedom of the press to do it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Jack.
Hey.
Where's Brewster?
He's down there on the carpet working over a beef bone.
Well, we don't want to interrupt that. We'll just go with this picture.
Yeah.
That's Brewster.
I was going to say, I started to take it away from him, and he growled at me. Beef bone.
Are you still? Yeah, she's still down there. What are you doing?
We have Dr. Dynamite in the house.
Uh-oh. Seems like I remember he was trouble. Is he trouble? Dr. Dynamite? Oh, he's all right. All right. Conservatives are and have always been a force of colonization, cultural erasure, and the theft of human rights and lives. Colonizing, I can't believe that, that's actually a thing now. We have a president who's trying to colonize Greenland, Panama, Venezuela, Canada. The list is, it's like we're in the 19th century or something.
Well, did you see my review on Nuremberg?
Oh, yeah. Jamie saw Nuremberg last night. You saw Nuremberg. You saw it on streaming or
yeah,
in the
streaming.
theater?
I streamed it off of Prime. You can rent it or buy it. At the moment, it isn't free. Just because you have an account, you do have to pay for this one. But Russell Crowe does an amazing job. And
it looks like it from what I've seen.
Considering the camps that Trump wants to establish, the movie is absolutely terrifying. Yeah.
Is it long?
We did it for the Japanese, and now Trump and company want to do it for all the other brown and black people.
And actually, that brought up this. I just saw this on TikTok.
Pressing to realize that people I used to consider friends have become people who I would not tell where Anne Frank was hiding.
Not wrong.
Did the Anne Frank thing, you get down to it, it's a difficult situation when you how do you protect your neighbors and when you can't protect yourself even.
Right.
It puts everybody, when you have a government doing that, or you have a group doing that, even, let's say, 1930s Mississippi. How do you stand up when you put your own family in danger?
Trying to find, oh, here we go. We got, now this is not Brewster, what you posted yesterday.
Now that was Bodog. This was a little Maltese. In the they'll do the dog show. It's a little white poo-poo looking dog. And he was nothing poo-poo about him. And
I notice he's kind of limping along here.
Yeah, well, he got one leg in a cast.
Oh, well,
he was out and stuff, and Sherry was traveling, and so I took that video and posted it so she could see what he was doing. The other one shows him running back up the sidewalk.
Yeah, here's this.
Look at him go.
Oh, I see. He does have a cast on his arm.
Yeah, and it's not slowing him down a bit.
That is crazy. Yeah. Let's do that again. You remember? I bet my cousin Carolyn. You probably remember Rebel, don't you?
Oh, absolutely. Yes. Very well.
Weimaraner. I was the sweetest dog. It was my first dog. I named him Rebel because he was gray, and I thought of the Confederacy. But anyway, here I am. I see if you can figure out how old I am here, Carolyn, because I can't quite tell for sure. But that's Rebel. My Weimaraner when I was a kid. That's me. I don't know how old I am. That's when I was a little fat kid.
8, maybe? Yeah. 8.
I was thinking that might be 8. Yeah. That's Rebel the Weimaraner.
Oh, what are you doing to him?
I was pulling him by his ears because I was a big fan of Lyndon. Well, the thing is, I was at that age, I was running Lyndon Johnson's campaign at my elementary school. And I was a big fan of Lyndon Johnson. And when he started pulling his dog's ears, that famous thing, I thought that was a good thing to do. And that was the thing about that dog. That Weimaraners are so sweet natured. The Germans bred them to be with their children, to be dogs companions with their children. Just that they bred them just the opposite of German Shepherd. And so that dog, you could do it. We had a neighbors one time, the baby, like a 2-year-old, and was playing with Rebel, and that child bit really bit the dog, on the stomach, and he just sat there motionless. He didn't move, he didn't react at all. That was the sweetest dog. And that got me thinking about, in the Westminster thing yesterday, I saw this Weimaraner that won the competition. Dog named Sterling is the dog's name. Oh, that's not the videos. Oh, here it is. Here's Sterling. This is a Weimaraner that won the agility championship in his category.
Sterling, the Weimaraner. handled by Lori Barbie of Huntington Beach, California.
Sterling's registered name is Atomic Number 47, which, if you can guess, that's the atomic number for silver.
Well, we don't see a lot of Weimaraners in agility. They're very large dogs, so it makes it a little bit more difficult for them. But they've also bred to hunt, and that's what they like to do. Lori's worked very hard with Sterling, and they are an amazing, amazing top team in the country over and over again. So let's see how they get through this course.
Was that Lori just trying to calm Sterling down before the run?
Just trying to make sure they're on the same page. Because as you can see, again, this is a hunting dog. This dog is bred to run out large distances. So she's got to keep them a little bit in check, but also get this course done.
Had a huge edge at the split.
And off they go. Watch this teeter as they go across it. Sterling just bangs it, but says, I'm going to hang on. Oh, my goodness.
But still fast enough.
That's amazing. Again, this dog is extremely fast. That's very unusual to see a mistake like that from this team. And that just shows, even though it looks like something is right in front of the dog may not understand it.
But that's not a time penalty. Even though she missed the last jump, you just come around and do it again?
No, she did receive a penalty for the oh, that is correct in this one. My apologies. This is scored a bit differently. You're correct. That was all time. And here's the ending again. Let's look at that. And so she moved out around it. I think she saw Lori's arm go out and saw it more as a signal to go around the jump instead of over it.
Thank you, John. Lori, congratulations. Your first time competing here at Westminster, and you leave here a champion. What was the key to such a great run by Sterling?
Keeping her on task. She's really excited. She's very high. So just keeping her on the course.
And she's a very talented dog, an agility champion now. She also has her detective dog title. So what does she enjoy more?
She likes this. I can run, I can bark loud, and I can have a fun and tell my mom off. She loves this.
Congratulations, Lori. Sterling takes home gold. John, back to you.
I like that. I could tell my mom off.
Spirit, how are we racist?
Oh, you reading those commenters again?
Yeah. How many times do we have to talk about Obama removing illegal aliens and being the deporter
I don't
in
know.
chief?
I'm tired of saying it myself. You can say it if you want to. we repeat it over and over again. Obama, actually, he deported more than Trump. I'll say it again. In 2012, at his peak, Obama deported over 400,000 people. Trump has not gotten to that number yet, despite all this craziness. And Obama managed to do it legally and professionally and without all this craziness. And that's how you do it. Obama's the model, even now. I mean, I agree with Biden opened the floodgates and made a mess. I agree with that. But if we want to get this done right, we go back to the way Obama did it.
Biden didn't open the floodgates. The world realized there was a loophole.
Yeah.
And
they made it attractive.
You know, they were coming from everywhere to get into Mexico. And like I said, the crisis was in Washington, D.C., not down on the border. Somebody needed to fix the law.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, there's a very good Texas Monthly magazine has a very good article on the current situation on the border.
Oh,
Texas Monthly, the Texas Tribune and the Texas Monthly are. I mean, I know they're progressive. Everybody's going to say they're liberal or whatever, but they are solid publications still. They really are.
also, did you hear about Tallarico?
Oh, is there something new about he's the Democrat running against Crockett in the Senate primary in Texas we've been following, yeah.
Well, I found out something. So it was him, Beto O'Rourke, and one other person that were kind of in this little group of people that were going to try and get elected. Beta knew he wouldn't win governor. He knew he wouldn't. So the idea was that Tallarico would go for governor of Texas and go against Abbott. Well, and that basically they would see if Crockett was going to be running. This is before Crockett said anything about running for Senate. And so they were going to see if she was going to enter into the race. Because if she was going to enter into the race, they weren't going to do anything. They were going to wait. And then Beta would go for Senate. But then she entered into the race. So Tallarico was governor. And then all of a sudden he goes up to DC and meets a bunch of people and then decides, no, I'm running for Senate, after he knew Crockett was already running.
Well,
and so a lot of people are saying, it's two people, and yes, they both
well, at one point there were three, though. There was also three.
Yes.
There was the guy that was the former football champion.
And he dropped out.
Because
I think, because the thing is, I think and that's the thing. Obviously, if Crockett loses, she stays in the House. She's not going anywhere. But so a lot of people are saying, well, I would go for Tallarico then, because then he just, goes on the path. We don't lose her.
Yeah.
But no, there was big things about that because Crockett went out and told people apparently she's going to go after him negatively.
Oh yeah.
And start doing smear campaigns, which I don't think that's really good to do.
I've got some. We've been following Tallarico. Oh, here he is. Here he is. This is Tallarico.
Marriage, but it goes on and on about forgiving debt, liberating the poor, and healing the sick. Christian nationalists like to say this is a Christian nation. Not only is that historically inaccurate, not only is that theologically blasphemous, but it's also just not true. Look around us. If this was truly a Christian nation, we would forgive student debt. If this was truly a Christian nation, we would guarantee health care to every single person.
That's what's unique about him, is he talks about Jesus and religion and connects. Democrats just don't do that. That's unusual.
I think that Opal guy is missing someone to argue with.
Oh, that Opal's here. Hello, Opal. Hello, Opal. You got go after them there, Opal. You got some folks there.
Go get them.
Go get them. Go get them. Opal's good at chasing the commenters. My God, did MAGA take the day off today? No, I don't know that they took the day off, Opal. There's a couple of them up there. Spirit's calling us racist. Go get Spirit. Yeah, whoa. Go, Opal, go. Anyway, y'all had enough of dogs. You want any more dogs? Let's see. We got I forgot to get Blue Bronx sent her dog's picture in. Blue Bronx dog is Gale Storm. That's Gale Storm. Blue Bronx dog. And I got my and you might remember Carolyn, my cousin Carolyn. You remember Barney, I guess.
Oh yes, remember him too.
That was my second dog, Barney, and that must be law school, because I think that's the only other time other than now that I grew a beard. But and he used to get on his backhand, and that's how he would beg for food as soon as you got food out. And boy, he was a master. He was a master at that. I mean, he
give you the puppy eyes and everything.
Oh, he would do the whole thing, the whole routine. Yeah. He was good at that.
Oh, you were asking if there was a competition for cats?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there's the CFA International Cat Show.
But now I'm thinking they don't get cats to do like these dogs do with this agility championship. Do they do? I can't imagine getting cats to like run around in circles and stuff and do all that stuff. I wouldn't think.
Well, Miss Sophie, my late cat here that passed away here last month, she would probably do anything for one of those frisky cat treats. You know, they've got the commercial about they're throwing them off the treats off the building and the cat's jumping out and catching them. That she would do that. She would have climbed the building for those cat treats.
Is that?
Yeah, cat competition is more show and measuring according to breed standards and so on. But they are beautiful.
Yeah, I think that'd be a good one because Renee was saying, she only has cats, and I was saying we'll tie into a cat competition sometime and get people to show us their cats. I found this dachshund online. This cracks me up. This dog right here. Let's see. Oh, I got to put him on the stage. Here we go. Yeah, let me play that again. That's a good one. This dachshund running the course here.
Oh, yeah.
Lola, ripping through the track. Sharp corner, S turn. Oh, the hairpin corner.
That's a good one. There's a lot of great dog clips on YouTube Shorts, and if you just search athletic dogs, you get all kinds of videos like that of people with their dogs.
Dachshunds are
Tom Hanks. That's a new one.
They're good hunting dogs. My sister had dachshunds for years. She had one. The first one, I think, her husband hunted, and they were doing fox hunting, and the fox went into his burrow, and that dachshund went down into the burrow after the fox, and came back with part of the fox's tail.
Well, they're also good for mice, dachshunds, because I learned that when we were having mice problems, and the company that came in to deal with it, I said, well, I guess we need a cat, because I had always heard cats, for my. And he says, oh, cats are useless. He says, what you want is a dachshund.
That's what I want, but my mom is severely allergic to cats and dogs, except for anything of the terrier breed, because terriers have coarse hair instead of fur. And so like my dog doesn't really bother her unless sometimes when like she's sitting in her lap, Winnie will lick her hand and then she'll get like itchy a little bit, but not terrible.
Louise is saying, I have a Shih Tzu and she gives me the puppy eyes all the time. Give us a picture.
Oh,
give us a picture of I made it real easy. I was telling people you can go over here to this.
Probably looks like Brewster.
Is that what Brewster is?
He's crossed with a poodle, but he's got the classic Shih Tzu markings.
Yeah, anybody that wants to share their dog pictures, go over here to trailmix.cc/comment. It'll go straight to the comment box, and you can click choose file and upload anything you want. I'd like to see them. We've had several do that. In fact, we had one here from YouTube. Where was that? Oh, this one. This one came from one of our YouTube folks.
Yeah,
this morning.
12
years old. That one.
That's fairly old for a big dog. Now Sherry had a dog that was she was a kind of wire-haired terrier, about 30, 35 pounds, and she lived to be 21 years old.
21.
Yeah, and she got kind of she was kind of like got kind of like those grand old ladies, that are a little senile, and that was she was kind of that way. And we went out and a walk in one of the parks where they got a pond, and she, instead of following the path, she said, "Well, I can go across here just like I always did." You know how old folks are sometimes. and she got tangled up in some fishing line and she broke her hip. We had to put her to sleep.
Oh, really?
But yeah, she was quite the dog. And she was one that loved to go out into the fields and find rodents.
Oh.
She was a rat dog.
Winnie finds birds and bunnies, and they're usually already dead. So, yeah.
And then does she bring them in the house, or?
Well, yes. One time she almost choked to death on a bird, and we had to get that out. And then one day I literally was like, what is this smell in my house? I couldn't figure it out. Well, then I bent down to grab, I dropped a pen under my desk, and I look, and right along the baseboard, she had brought in a dead bird and put it under there. So
as a present. See, she thought it was a present.
Yeah. No, we have lots of wildlife in our backyard. We've got bunnies that live in our retaining wall. And then we've got birds constantly. We have a big picture window and they fly into it all the time. And then we also have a koi pond that we get turtles every spring. So we get little baby turtles that like to play in the water. It's really cute.
Oh, speaking of Texas, did you guys see this was some good news?
Yes.
In Texas today. That's a seat. What does it say here? That the Democrats won this seat they flipped a district that went Trump plus 17 and hasn't elected a Democrat since 1991. I mean, that's the kind of thing that's been happening.
I think that is a case of just like you were talking about with the Epstein thing, is the mega people just didn't show up.
Yeah.
Trump people didn't go to vote.
Yeah.
And whether that transfers to anything for the regular election, and an off year, it might, Talladega may have a chance. Especially if
I think that
if the current senator doesn't get kicked out, I think he goes ahead and wins, regardless of who's against him. But with the other idiot going in there challenging him, if he wins, what's his name?
Paxton.
Yeah, Paxton. If Paxton was to be the Republican nominee, I think Talladega has a chance. Not a great chance, but a bit of a one.
Yeah. Well, I tell you, we've said for a long time that California is eventually Texas is eventually going to get purplish. Mm-hmm. And it is just a matter of time demographically, but it's always a matter of, is this the time? I mean, even though who were we talking about earlier who ran against Cruz, Beto Roar, he didn't do terrible. I mean, he lost both times, but he got close. He got fairly close.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, I'm hoping that happens in more places too. I think it's a sign of things to change. And of course, the Epstein files, people.
Yeah. I tell you, I went there's some stuff in there that's going to have a little bit of legs. I mean, it depends on how they. I think there are enough media out there are going to chase some of these threads. I mean, there's just some threads to pull out all that stuff, but I mean,
well, particularly
in that release yesterday.
Elaine.
He was in Trump's mentioned at least 1,400 times in just what was released yesterday. So that's a lot of work for a lot of folks to do to pull those threads and see what all that is.
But Ghislaine with her habeas corpus suit could bring a lot of that to light. She's pissed off that she's in jail and 29 of them are running around free.
Yeah.
Well, Trump had his Playboy days.
Yes, he did.
He was busy running with other billionaires or rich kids, and
I'll be honest.
Well, it's like, go ahead.
He has always given me the ick, even as a kid. Like seeing him on stuff, he always gave me the ick.
Yeah. Yes.
Now who?
And Trump. Like
Trump.
I've always felt
Trump.
something is just not right with him, Yeah. And
because I didn't watch The Apprentice, but I saw it a couple times, and that's about all I knew about Trump. And that's exactly was my reaction. What a creep! He's just a con artist. And it was just shocking to me that
you'd see him, at least from my point of view here in Missouri, you would see him, and basically you would always see him doing his Playboy pose.
Yes.
Yeah. And that's not real.
If you listen to Mary Trump, she tells the whole story.
Oh, I love her. I love Mary Trump.
I love that.
She is so great.
I mean, she's been kind of almost a tutor for me because I've studied Trump so much and read so much about his background. I'm particularly interested in his upbringing and his parents and I mean, some of the stories. And then I had already been doing a lot of that going back to 2016. And then she came along and just filled in a lot of gaps about his upbringing and his father and his mother and she just is. She's got him nailed. She really. And
that's
then
one thing about the Nuremberg movie is that the psychiatrist who was studying Goring, nailed him as a narcissist.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
and Hitler certainly was.
That's how the prosecutor got him in the end to admit on the stand what he knew and what he had done. And then shortly after, he committed suicide because he had been revealed for what he was.
I hate saying it, but my favorite protest sign I've ever seen is, can we skip to the part where he offs himself in the bunker?
Oh, that reminds me. I never want to forget playing this one.
Are these the neighbors that you want in your city? No. These are the criminal migrants that Kamala Harris brought into your community.
I like to play that every day.
I noticed that Kash Patel is quite quiet. He's really got his head down. Because he's the one who said all these Epstein files and everything, that there was no people in Trump wasn't in the Epstein files. There's no criminals in them.
Yeah, when he testified to the Senate Judiciary Committee, not too long ago, when he said that, I thought, man, you're going to pay for this. I mean, he said that there was no other, that Epstein was the only one who abused women, and that there was no others. Yeah.
Well, he had a bunch of buddies. We just don't know exactly who all it was.
Yeah.
And as usual, follow the money chain.
Well, that's the part we still don't have.
The global financing.
A real handle on it.
I think you're right, Jamie.
Yeah.
I think in some ways that's the way Epstein promoted his business, was wild parties on his island.
Ugh. And I do love seeing that he was like, I do not want Elon on my island. Like every time Elon was emailing him, can we come?
I didn't catch that. Really, he actually said he didn't want him on the island.
He was kind of trying to avoid him. It's really funny when you read like the succession of emails, and I don't know, like some people are like, maybe he didn't want the nerd on the island or something like that. And the thing is, so
he's so weird.
Elon's daughter, his transgender daughter that has written him off, confirmed they were at St. Bart's during when he messaged him that they were in St. Bart's, that email actually coincided with a trip that the family had taken.
Oh, is that right?
Yep. So it's like, oh, okay.
Now, what was this story, Jack, about this wonder dog?
Jim the Wonder Dog.
What is the story about Jim the Wonder
Well,
Dog?
I think it is up in mid-Missouri, and I think my dad told me about this because he as a young adult worked up there around Sedalia, and the guy had this dog, and I think the guy was a bit of a bullshitter and stuff, and he trained this dog to do all kinds of things, and could predict things and could pick things out, and and the guy claimed all along that the dog was super intelligent and had like ESP.
It says here he could predict the winner of the Kentucky Derby and the World Series, and know the gender of unborn babies.
And this was this was back in the 30s, back in the Depression era. So it was, I guess it got to be quite the local phenomenon there.
So that Jim the Wonder Dog. What's chat seems messed up. Opal guy, are you saying we're messed up or the system's messed up? Chat's messed up.
I'll say we don't seem to have many people arguing in the comments today.
Well, when I made the whole pitch, what happens is when you when you create a page for what you're going to discuss, what your topics are going to be, then the YouTube robots go out and find an audience for that topic. So I was curious what they would do with the focus on the dog championship. what kind of audience they would go out and find for that. I thought, well, I'm in the mood to confuse the robots today and see what they come up with.
Well, evidently they're screening out. They're screening the comments or something, because that's what the Opal guy's talking about. That he made a comment with Mussolini in it, comparing Trump to Mussolini, and it didn't
oh,
show.
Really? Oh, let's see what's he saying here. No, the YT chat. Okay, made a comment about Trump needing a Mussolini ending from phone. It didn't show, huh? And Done Guns here. You devil, you load. Huh. Well, that wouldn't. I mean, they are able to do that. I mean, I don't. They don't give me any settings to do anything. Now, one setting they do give me that I haven't chosen is I can restrict commenters to just people who subscribe to the channel. And I was thinking, if things get too bad and we've got, too many bots or trolls or whatever, we can go to that option, because I'm up to almost 6,500 subscribers now. So that's an option if we need that. If we think the commenters are getting crazy, YouTube does let me restrict commenting to just people who subscribe to the channel.
Yeah.
But right now, I'm not doing that.
Yeah, all I can tell, I think we can tell Opal Guy is welcome to the brave new world.
Yeah, I could go on and on about it. I know a lot about how these what people call censorship, and I'm not defending YouTube and TikTok too much, but they're a business, all right, and they've got advertisers, and they don't want stuff on their site that's going to frighten the advertisers, and it's really more about that than political bias, even though it kind of looks that way to a lot of people. But in general, that's why political content on YouTube is a tough thing to do, because they're afraid of political content, because their advertisers are afraid of it, and they don't want to be associated with anything controversial or politically sensitive. So anyway, that's what's behind a lot of what happens on both TikTok and YouTube.
I still think it's funny we got banned on TikTok. Was it TikTok, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, me and Jack got banned. I think we got banned twice. But it was when we were doing the DuPont Circle, when I was going outside in the good weather, and we were doing the DuPont Circle open chats, and I was out there, and I kept pointing out that, and it was true, is that I could smell pot smoke just wafting by.
Oh, yeah, you can't say drug names
when we were out there, and that's all I was saying. I mean, I was also, the pigeons, were attacking me and stuff. So anyway, and I would say, oh, there, I smell some pot. I heard, and that video got slammed down by now YouTube did nothing. They didn't bother it at all.
No.
But
Craig said something about, look, he knew how Washington D.C. was handling the occupation.
Oh yeah. Now I know everybody.
The other controversial thing is I told him, I said, well, when you're under an authoritarian regime, I said, there are two things you need to know is how to kiss the ring and keep your mouth shut.
Yeah.
You're right, Dungan. They are supporting that censorship crap.
They're afraid of him. They're afraid of him. I definitely think that's true.
Mm-hmm.
But
they got a lot of money tied up in this stuff. And who was I reading the other day? Was talking about the different things. I think it was like with the AI and stuff, about how much money they have invested and how much money they have made through the Donald Trump economy.
Yeah.
So they,
Well, they turn on a dime, and if a Democrat gets in there that can make them money, they'll change. The true one here, are we talking about China? We weren't talking about China, but what do you got to say about China? We'll be happy to talk about China. I don't know. What about China? I mean, the thing that was on my mind was China's quietly, all the leaders of Europe, the Prime Minister of Britain was there just a few days ago. They're all traipsing through China now to do deals because they're sick of Trump. And I don't think that's a good thing for us. But that's one thing that's on my mind about China. Welcome to the Upside Down Podcast. Now, I don't know if you're on your phone and you turn it sideways. See, I broadcast this in horizontal, by the way, and so if you have a phone, you can see it better if you turn your phone sideways. I don't know if that's what you're talking about, Brad, but anyway, how about the Texas Senate race? Oh, we were just talking about that, Don Gunn, the Texas Senate race. Yeah. It's Tallarico's still the one to watch. It's the one I'm watching. We're about to, we got us. We done did an hour.
That was awesome.
We done did an hour, and I saved up that Willie Nelson you got, but I think I'll go back to the Westminster. I got the highlights here.
Oh,
highlights reel.
The one I posted yesterday. The
Willie Nelson, The Heart of America.
Yeah, that he had put on his YouTube channel.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think I'm going to save that. I want to play that tomorrow because he wears that Willie Nelson bandana with the braids in the video, and I've got one. And I looked for it this morning, and I don't know where it is, so I want to wait and play that when I can wear mine. And and so anyway, I'm gonna end up here with the highlight reel from yesterday at Westminster.
Also, great news. They landed, according to NPR News, and they are on their way home.
That's the 5-year-old boy and his father's with him.
Yes, and I just hope that they can get the rest of the kids that have been taken from that school as well, because there's several kids that have been taken from the Columbia High School, as well as parents that came to pick up their kids.
Wow.
So
that
anyway,
one's behind us.
It's a new challenge.
It goes.
We got to just keep going and keep pressuring. That's what we do.
Yeah, catch up on trailmix.cc, Dungun. That's where we'll be. And
see y'all later.
Well, you all take care.
You too.
Have a great rest of your day.
Yep, we'll go back to the Westminster Agility Championship highlight. These are the best. This is the highlight reel from yesterday. I can get it on the screen. Is that it? No, that's not it. No, that's not it. Oh, here we go. I hadn't shared the screen yet. There it is. All right.
Back jumps will be faulted for that. Into those weaves, though. Come on, Primo, finish it out. That teeter.
I love
yes,
these
she
dogs.
does.
I like this better than the part where they just look at how pretty they are and
into that yellow.
award them for being pretty.
Good job, Primo.
I like seeing dogs do some work for their awards.
Knocks her out.
Next, in the 12-inch class, Wendy, the English Cocker Spaniel, handled by Julia Ashley of Cannell, Winchester, Ohio.
Wendy and Julia were here 2 years ago in the finals at Westminster.
Wendy is a great little dog. I have judged Wendy and Julie several times. They're a great team. I'm really expecting a nice run here. What a nice start.
All right, we're going to end up here with the
Wendy off like a shot
Minneapolis
there.
choir that
We'll
we've
rear
been
across at the wall.
winding up with
See that tonight,
every day lately, and we're going to do it again. Here they are.